Hey, it's Kellen. And today, you guys, we're going to go for a treat for all the entrepreneurs who are trying to get their situation neat. I have Ali Valdes, who is going to tell us what she does for entrepreneurs, office management, human resources, social media, and all the other services. I'm excited to have you, Miss Ali. How are you doing today?
Great to be here. I'm doing awesome today. How are you?
Oh, all is well. All is well. Any day with sunshine like this out of the Seattle rain that we were so accustomed to is a beautiful day. And I just want you to just open it up and tell folks, because I know the story that I think I read online was like you got into worship. It was almost like you were forced to turn, what you've been doing for corporate into your passion. So talk about it.
Okay, so I was noticing after 16 years of being an office manager at different businesses, different small businesses, how there was such a lack of preparation for growth in every one of these businesses that they didn't have any systems in place in order to scale. They didn't plan out any kind of growth and anticipate that growth, and then create the systems and processes needed for the growth, and then employ the correct people to run the systems for the growth. And that was a pattern that I was seeing repeated over and over again. So I figured that I needed to start my own business in which I could help several different business owners start seeing their business as a product, seeing it as something that they're providing to customers, and that what they really are looking for is having all of their clients and customers have a consistent feeling with their company, that no matter what, they are always receiving the same service, and that makes them trust them. So I thought all of these are huge factors in keeping clientele happy. And I believe that everybody needs to learn how to do that in their business.
And with that, and seeing so many different entrepreneurs, how long have you been in business? And are there certain things like come across that the majority of entrepreneurs have just dropped the ball on?
Yes. Okay, so of all the years that I've been doing this, in first the corporate world and then doing it in my own business, is that many independent contractors especially are not equipped to run their business. They know the technical side of their business that they're starting. They're an electrician, they know how to do the electrician things. They might be in whatever it is. You might be a lawyer, you know how to do law, but running a business is different than doing just the technical work in the business. And a lot of people who start a business don't look at it that way. There are three parts to it. You have to have the entrepreneurial mindset, to be the one who's the visionary and looking at the big picture and the goals for your company. Then you have to have a manager mindset, the person who puts all the processes and systems in place that you can do repeatedly and consistently. And then the technician who does the actual work. And what I do is mostly start with the business when it's in the infancy stage, going to adolescence. So now they've grown to a point where they can't handle everything on their own anymore. So it's really about getting the business owner to see that they need help. And in order to grow, you can't grow by yourself. You need other people on your team and systems in place so that you can scale your business.
Preach, please. Man, it sounds like you sitting on my shoulder right here as that good angel. Something we say every day to entrepreneurs. And how long have you been in business?
I have been in business since March. I started my own business. Yes, right around the time it was COVID. The company that I was working for actually was doing layoffs, and I was laid off. So it was the perfect time for me to start.
And that's where I wanted to go with it, because it's people like you. I love that story. And, you can see articles on her if you Google, her name, and that's her website too. The links will be in the description box for sure. But it's taking, the lemons and making it lemonade. And personally, for, over a decade, I've been telling people, if you can be a secretary, if you can be a plumber for a corporate, you could hire me as just hire my business. I'll do the same job for you, but I want to have generational wealth, or, have a different type of schedule. And then I read the book. I'm sure you've heard about it, The 4-Hour Work Week.
Yes, I just finished reading that book. How funny. Yes.
And when you read that book, you're like, okay, I knew I wasn't crazy, and that Tim has, proven this, 2 decades prior. And it's like, okay, cool. I'm not crazy. Let me find my tribe. Like another great author, Seth Godin, always talks about finding your tribe. And so I just love it. And I really hope, and that you're a part of Toastmasters, whatever that means right now, or part of the NSA, because that needs to be told to everybody in corporate. Make them hire you as a business. It's so much more money, and ask for time off. So as being an entrepreneur since March of 20, what have been the differences in your life schedule, and what have you enjoyed the most?
Okay, so definitely I have so much more joy. Every day I have a reason to get up and go and find people that I can help. I think that it just flows out of me, the willingness to serve my clients and to find where their bottlenecks are. So many people are just kind of walking around not really realizing what's wrong in their business. They think, that they can't get to where they want to be, or they can't believe that they started a business and now they work like 18 hours a day and they never have time to do anything. And that's not why you became an entrepreneur. You have to realize that what you want is to take yourself completely out of the business and be the owner of the business, so that that business is just generating wealth for you, and you don't have to be there all the time. Because even though you've started your own business, you're still trading dollars for time. And that's really what you're trying to get out of. So that's really like my main goal in trying to teach people what they need to do. That's what I have realized as I started this journey. Also, the self-awareness that comes with becoming an entrepreneur and learning about yourself and learning about, your mindset and how important it plays on everything. I'm a big stickler on that and trying to instill that in my clients. So that's another big thing. Definitely the mindset of knowing that you can do it. It's possible. You're not the victim. Everything is a choice. All of that going with, the entrepreneurship has really been great for me.
And prior to COVID and being laid off, had you thought of having your own business? And if you had, what stopped you from doing it?
I didn't know where to start. I didn't know how to just begin. I didn't know what kind of marketing I needed to do. I didn't know what kind of, I've never been like a salesperson to say the least, to be like, okay, I got to sell you something. Like, that's never been my personality. So that also was scary. But I started out with a coach so that I could hit the ground running, because it's better to start getting some sort of mentorship from somebody who's been there where you want to go and knows how to get there, has a clear path, has a process that you can follow. I mean, when I think about how many stumbling blocks and things that I've gotten since I've started the business, if I didn't have that coach, how much more behind I would be, it's crazy to me. So I'm a big proponent of like getting a coach. They can really help you. You just need to find the right one for you,
Definitely. And if you wouldn't mind letting people know, just what range of your coaching, because as a consultant, and that's what I see kind of my just day-to-day job, even though people say, I thought you were this, I thought you're that, whatever you thought, as a consultant, you're trying to coach and sometimes mentor, depending on, who the client is. And people will say, wow, that's expensive. But what's really expensive is trying to figure it out on your own for a decade. And so can you talk about that range that you jumped out on faith to maybe pay, because somebody needs to hear that and say, okay, I do have that amount of money, and she did it, I can do it too.
Okay, so my story with my coach is actually when I was on the discovery call with her, she shifted my mindset as far as that I couldn't afford it. So she was $4,800 and she told me that price and I was like, I don't have that kind of money. And she told me something that like resonated with me, is that every time I've needed money for something that I really want, I have found the money. And I'm like, you're right. Things that I have made priorities in my life, I will find a way to get them. So I did that with the money. I really prayed about it. I prayed on it. And I took out a business loan. And I figured if I didn't get approved for that business loan, that was God telling me, no, this is not the way for you to go. But I got approved. So in my mind, I was like, okay, God's on board. Like we're going to go for it. So I did. And it's been the best decision ever. It changed my complete outlook on everything. I definitely used to be fixed mindset. Everything's happening to me, for me. I'm the victim. I don't have any choices. I'm a victim of my circumstances and not my decisions. So I was able to change all of that thought process once I started this program. And she's been like so great. She's very hands-on. And I mean, there's so many coaches that do different like facets, mindset, business. So you can find your perfect person. You just need someone it's better if you want to go faster. If you want to start at an accelerated rate and you don't want to be twiddling your thumbs and I don't know what to do, then you need to get help from the beginning, for sure.
And let me put and say a coach isn't a magical wizard or fairy, because even my wife and I, we have a coach for a business in healthcare, and it's because we're learning, and the business is not even profitable, even though we have, workers. And you're like, before you even have clients, you got to put that money towards that. And your story is so beautiful because you did it during a pandemic. You lost your job and you still found it. And there's some of y'all who, you got money for a new car. I'm not picking on ladies, but new hair, new this, new that, but I've had guys tell me, hey, I'm willing to sell my new car to be represented by you. And I'm like, that's not even going to be what I want you to do, because,
right.
I don't want your last, and you selling that, whatever car it is, I don't know. You should not have bought the car in the first place, because I got an issue with the way you buy things. And that's client on client basis. Somebody can afford it, whatever. What are some of the things, and I want to go even deeper than the first question I had asked you, like, are there some things that you've seen that just like, you're like, these entrepreneurs don't get it? And I'm saying that because, like you, I have worked in the oil field, right? And I have been a truck driver, and a cushy 6-figure oil field job, very cushy. But when I got out of the oil field and I tried to educate truck drivers on how they can do their business, because I went out and bought my own truck, it's like, gosh, you guys are so disorganized. There's not a system. You're not even thinking that you need to even hire, your wife to help you out. Are there any things that just irk you when you see things in business?
Yes, definitely the inconsistencies in what you're saying and what you're doing. I have had several clients and then also bosses who are saying one thing to their employees and then not exemplifying that. And that causes so many problems inside of an organization. You need to set up from the very beginning, when you first start your business, what your systems and processes are going to be, and what your company culture and mission statement is. And you have to hire based on those two things. And you can't waste time on this crazy cycle of we're just going to keep hiring and firing and not having any standards of what we're looking for, which costs you so much more money, because you're putting out ads and then you're hiring people, you're putting them on the payroll, then you're taking them off the payroll. It's a lot of back and forth that doesn't need to happen. So really consistency, and then also believing that they can run their business, like a system. Like they don't think that they can. They are always trying to, they're not thinking about the big picture. And that's really a big problem, is not having the vision in mind of what you want the business to be. Because really a lot of people are starting businesses and they're just giving themselves another job. Now, instead of having a boss, now you're the boss, but now you have to do everything else the boss was doing before, plus your job. And they never consider that at all. So I think they really need to take a step back and realize that you're not spending money, you're investing in your company. And I think when you think of it like that, if you're not willing to invest in yourself, why would someone else invest in you? I mean, you have to be willing to do that. And think about all the people who spend money to go to college, and look at how much of an investment that is. And that's like $30,000 in student loans. And you could invest $5,000 in your business and be independent, have freedom, be able to travel where you want, run your business from another country, like all of these great things. If you would just invest in yourself, you just always have to see it as you're investing in and sometimes, yeah, you're going to make the wrong investment. Sometimes that happens, but you can't live your life in fear. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. So you can't just be like, oh no, I am so scared to spend this money. And everything I pray about it. So, I mean, that's personally for me. I give that advice to other people, but some people I know are not religious. So you just have to think about what you want in life and then formulate a plan to go after it. There's I forget who says it's, I think it's Stephen Miller maybe, that says you have to begin with the end in mind. So you think of what your goals are, where you're headed, and then you can make a plan to get there, and that would be so much easier for you.
I want to stop anybody from emailing you and saying, oh, I'm going to go bother her. I like her look, especially the thirsties. It's great to like someone's look, their knowledge more than anything, and with their potential, how they can help you. What is the range that entrepreneurs should be in to hire someone at your level?
Okay, I am normally working with people who are already at six figures. They already would have the leeway to be able to spend the type of money to create a custom system and implement that and get some HR coaching and be able to hire a team to be able to facilitate the systems. So I normally try to stay with some, I have had some that have been lower priced, lower ranged, that are not as, but those people have been able to come up with the money on their own. So you want to be like sort of established so you have the money available. You want to always make sure you're doing things in sequence. So if they feel like they are not able to come up with that money, then I'd also have other programs where we could start off with, just some group coaching or pre-recorded trainings in order to facilitate that if they have like a lower price range.
Okay, give that range, because that's that new entrepreneur not being as confident to say this is going to be the range you need to be in, because I used to struggle with that, and I don't even talk anymore. I just send the paperwork, and that's the price. And if you want to negotiate, there's always a lower tier, but do they need to be at $2,000 a month, or they need to be at $7,000 a month is where I'm trying to, make sure people don't just.
Right. I think you're going to already want to be around somewhere between 7 and 10K a month.
Okay. And that, and it depends again, folks, on the service that you need and how much service, because she's willing to work with you and you're catching her when she's fresh and her entrepreneur. She's not one of these beaten down entrepreneurs, bitter in just life because clients have burned you from this way to that way. And no one likes to get burned, but that's, in business, you make systems. Like you said, I am a systems person, and our coach in healthcare had taught me that years ago when we just had met her to be friends. And and I was like, you're right, and so everything has a system, because I can go to Cameroon for a month and everything's going to run like it's going to run. And
exactly.
I love it. what about when you were on this entrepreneur journey, the support system that you had? Because most entrepreneurs that I talk to, including myself, we did not get supported. My wife, she met me 18 years ago. She was like, what is he doing? And she's like, I'm going to be this successful, this, and she's genius and great at what she does. But she's like, you really pushed me to do entrepreneurship. And you always knew that's what you wanted to do. And now I see why. So did you have a support system? Because many of us did not have that.
Yes, and a little bit on the no side. I mean, my mom was definitely like, you shouldn't spend that much money on a coach. Like, I think you should get a part-time job in the meantime. Like that kind of like, but that's really just her like looking out for me, and she's just worried. And that's what really most of your loved ones are. They're just worried about you, and they have their own limiting beliefs that they're like dealing with. So since they're dealing with those things, they sometimes try to put that off on you. And so, I mean, I kind of made my own decision. Like I asked for some opinions of what people thought, but it was really up to me and what I wanted to do. So.
Okay. And I'm just doing like a survey because I think I need that push. I need not everybody to get it because it's the vision God gave me. It's not the vision that he gave everybody else. And you can hear that preached in any church on any given Sunday or now online or wherever, you can hear it. But that push of hearing no, or that won't work, or do you remember when that cost that much money and it didn't work? And you're like, okay, that's going to push me harder. Whereas if it was just given to me, I don't know where I would be. I don't even know what that feels like. Because like the kids say, I really got it out the mud. They think they got it out the mud, but I was in the mud trying to figure out, how do I get enough capital to say peace to this job forever?
Yes.
Yeah. And pay Sally Mae back all her good money that she wanted and all that. But I've just always loved entrepreneurship. So with, business and the doubters, do you think, your own support system outside of your coach, does that need to be strengthened at all? Or do you just have just enough people now that are believers?
I think I have enough people now that are believers. I think definitely my mom's come around more to see it. Like once I started getting clients, I think that just cements it in everyone else's head. They're like, oh, okay, well, I guess. And then I'm just thinking like the whole time, why didn't I know this before I turned 38, that I could do this, that I could have this life, that I could have this kind of freedom and, everything. So I wish that people could know that when they're younger, like somebody tells you. Like I know some people like yourself had an entrepreneurial drive, but I never thought that it was even possible for me. I always thought that, like you had to, the only way for you to get ahead was to get ahead in business and corporate world and just keep working harder and more hours and doing more and more. And I never realized that it didn't have to be like that.
Yeah. And whenever you get it, I mean, that's just when, everybody is different. I come from my grandmother was an entrepreneur. So we would be at her daycare and I would hear about how she used to own a ice cream shop in Oakland before we were, when my mother and all my aunts and every uncles were, and I'm just like, wait, if she can do that, then what can we do? And, the way my journey started, it was kind of in the gray area. So so I kind of, go from one extreme to another sometimes in life. And that's just the way my life works. But I don't like being told what to do. I don't like to be told when to do it. And I don't live in a box. Even when I'm dead, I say, don't put me in a box, cremate me. Spread me through, because I need to be free, because I don't live by your rules. And if you notice this, and this may be going, way left field, when people win, they always win doing something radical. Whether it's in business, whether it's in, you read your scriptures, you see who, God chose to use. And we've all seen the, images of this one was a drunk, this one was an adulterer, this one was a murderer, and this and that. So you don't know exactly where you line up, but I'm an extremist in a lot of things. So, that's that. But I'm glad that at the young age of 38, because I'm just a little bit older by a year, and I'm still consider myself a young gentleman, especially in the areas around high value people, because you don't meet too many high value people who are like, 19, even if they have money.
Right.
So where do you see your business going? Do you already have employees? What's the future?
Oh, I see my business. I see myself completely removing myself from the business and creating a team that does all of the work. And then I will just occasionally pick out people that I'd like to coach throughout, but really just expanding my courses that I have available and just, splintering off the offerings there and just, talking more to my clients and figuring out what they need help with, and just, trying to offer new programs and trainings for them that help them with these issues that they're having, because that's my main goal, is so that people can scale their businesses without the headache and craziness.
Okay. Do you see it going? I don't know. There's a great book, and I can send it to you if you haven't read it via Audible. If and it's free if you've never used an Audible, blah, blah, blah. Sound like a commercial when I say these things, but it's called The Future is Faster Than You Think. And
Right.
do you see your business going into like it's just an app and you can get what you need done by just clicking on the app and,
Yeah.
boom, the robots are doing it.
I would definitely love to read that book. I've got so many books on Audible that I've got saved to read. It's like a constant learning experience being an entrepreneur.
Well, you'll have it shortly. I like to multitask, and it's just when you read that book, it's on Audible. It's a 9-hour book that you can't just go through it if you're really studying what Peter, who's so qualified, and a real futurist, what he talks about. You have to stop and say, wait, that exists? Let me go look it up and see who's a part of that and how I can tie in. Because of some of those things, you can be like, let me go get the stock right now, because it might have just become publicly trading. And, if that's a game that you like to play. But I'm all about, diversifying and giving the game. But, a tech play, I definitely could see for what you do. I was mentioning Toastmasters and the NSA. Do you do any public speaking, or have you looked into that?
No, I haven't done any public speaking. Just as I started this entrepreneurial journey is just when I started to really come out of my introverted shell, because for so long I wasn't so open to like speaking and getting on and doing lives and doing videos. And now it's just been progressing. I've definitely been trying to do the opposite of what I tested in the Myers-Briggs exam, so that I could try to expand my horizons and become the person who will be the $1 million, breadwinner. So I figure what I was originally was introverted, and I think it was like an advocate, judging, some other different ones, and I'm trying to go to the other side of the spectrum to, grow as a person. So I've been really trying to put myself out there.
Well, you know what the old saying, scared money don't make no money. I consider myself an introvert, and people don't believe it because when they meet me, I'm out and about. But my wife will say, if you sat him down in a day and you didn't call him, he's kind of, in his own bubble and he doesn't have to talk. But I know when I'm out and about, or if I need to make some money, I got to talk. Closed mouth doesn't get fed, is what grandmother said. So I gotta be and the tongue don't stop, because I want the payroll, I want the ding ding ding, I want to hear the chimes, come through. With the public speaking, and this is kind of an unfair question, because you have the public speaking, which is a part of networking to me, and you got in this when everything kind of shut down. But in Florida, I was shocked. I've only been here about 2 months. I was like, my goodness, nothing is shut down, because we really had a lockdown in Seattle, Washington. So can you talk, like, have you been able to master your networking yet, or is that on hold?
Yeah, no, it's getting better. I mean, I do most of my networking on Facebook, and I've gotten most of my clients from Facebook. I do a lot of networking on LinkedIn, although there's not like the engagement factor is not the same on LinkedIn. So it's more like, I guess people are just kind of like looking at your profile, and if they want to talk to you, then they'll send you a message. And where else? On Instagram, just a little bit. And then I have signed up for all of these different networking groups that do networking calls in the morning. So you get on, do a little pitch, and meet people in your industry, and then you open up yourself for the service, and it's really, really great. So been good so far.
And for an introvert, that is probably like the best intro for those of us who every day or every other day are out and about, Chamber of Commerce or at, different functions, the touch part, because
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you really if I can't touch you. And now I can't touch you, no
Right.
shake the hands, no hugs, no nothing,
Right.
and it's like, oh, okay. So wait, say that again. The sound, something happened to the sound. You went mute.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
go ahead.
sorry.
Say that again, no problem.
I don't even know what I think I was just agreeing with you.
Okay. No worries. I didn't want to be like, hey, he muted her. Like, no, something, again,
Yeah.
glitches in the matrix.
All
Now,
right.
I have a big heart for Africa. I have dealings that I do there. My wife is from Cameroon. My
Okay.
friends growing up were all like, from all parts of the world. But Africa is like wide open. And I know with Valdes, the last name that we talked about, how you got that. Have you looked into any international dealings or doing anything, abroad for your clients?
Well, it's not that I haven't looked abroad, because I actually have spoken with lots of people in different countries. I just haven't actually, except for, I have one client in Canada, but that's not far. So I've talked with a lot of people definitely in South Africa, several, Australia, in the UK. There's so many different ones. And now that everything is online, it's like there's a smorgasbord of people to talk to and try to help. Especially now more than ever, people are seeing that they need these systems in place.
Okay. Now, sometimes I get this hater alert, and I could hear somebody saying, okay, well, if she has multiple clients and I'm just one in a number and she's going to help me with this and that, but what does her help look like? How many people can she handle? Because I may, need special attention, which we know every client needs to feel like they're the only client. And, you just have to make that dance. But what would you say to that person? And they say, hey, what does your team look like? How many folks do you have helping you?
Okay. Currently, I just have one assistant. That's all I've needed so far. And she helps me with just creating some of the workflows in the different CRMs that I'm building out. But really, it's really, since I have a strategic plan of whatever custom system I'm going to build, it normally only takes me between 2 and 3 weeks to build the system out. And once I've gotten the clarity in the initial phone call of exactly where you're trying to go with the business, and I build out the plan, and it's really just building out the system and then testing it, I have more than enough time for clients. I am available via email and Facebook Messenger to answer any questions. I chat with my clients a lot through Facebook Messenger, just if I have a little question on the workflow, so we don't have to get on a full-blown call, and things are always moving smoothly. Like I said, available on email. Then I have Facebook group for those in my program to ask questions. So I am available. outside of just when we have our one-on-ones or when we're doing the strategy sessions, I am available. So it just depends on when it is, what their needs are. I understand that a lot of people are in different time zones, so I try to accommodate that as well. I've, definitely taken calls outside of what I would consider my office hours so that I could accommodate someone who's in a different time zone for that. So they don't have to worry about that. I'm very client oriented. I think it's important to really make your clients feel supported, that they're really going to be better off once they're done implementing these systems.
And, the one thing that sometimes can irk some people in your position and my position is it's like coming to the doctor, and you come and you get help, and maybe you haven't done it long enough, but you can correct me if I'm incorrect, that they come for the doctor, they get the Band-Aid, or they get the stitches, and you say, okay, I need you to come back. And then they don't come back, and then the whole wound opens back up, and then it's like, this didn't work. And it's like, no, you need it. It's like anything else. You need it maintenance. So do you have a maintenance plan for them, where people can, not just a one-off and done, or it's full services, right?
Yes, I definitely, after I've built out the initial systems and we've done the initial workflows, then I definitely offer a maintenance program as far as any updates that need to happen with the workflows, or creating any additional workflows based on other packages or offers that you are going to be offering to your clients to keep the process smooth, streamlined, automated. I am definitely there. I always give the proposal for those maintenance contracts after the original proposal that I've done, because sometimes we add other things and I'm not sure exactly how many systems I'm going to need to maintain until we're done with the initial process. But I do offer the maintenance so that they can have peace of mind, because I know a lot of people don't want the done with you, or they want me to do it for them. So I understand that, and that I want my business to always be able to offer that service, even though it might not be always me that's doing it. I want to build the team to be able to do the same workflows that I know how to create.
Okay. And this might be too early of a question, but with, creating these systems for various people, especially doing it in a pandemic, I use my words wisely, people, when I say that. You got to be just like your president. Have you considered, writing a book on this, or, maybe having a video tutorial on what, you've done thus far?
I'm always open to maybe writing a book. I was thinking about doing like a little ebook. I've been thinking about that, but right now I'm in the middle of building out a course. So as soon as I'm done with that, I'll move on to the ebook.
Okay, or a course, yeah, because a course, I mean, a course is no joke, and man, it's those things are not easy to finish, because we're, trying to have something perfect, and I've had different clients, and they're like, well, Kellen, I made $30,000 on a course in less than 2 months, but people aren't following it. Like they buy it, but they don't follow through, and it gets the creator. I'm like, but you can't control that part of what people do. Now let's cut up this 30,000, and make another 30, because that's a great thing, but that can be taxing. So what will your course be on?
My course is actually going to be giving you the systems blueprint that you need for any business to scale to 7 figures. It's basically giving you the systems that you need to have in place and how to implement them for the growth of your company. It'll give you more time, less waste, and a clear path to growth.
Awesome. That's will all be on our website, I'm sure, soon on our website.
Soon, it's coming. I'm building.
Okay. Make sure you bookmark, if you're able to subscribe or something, just, check out all of that with the success that you're having. And, I understand that it's a new thing for entrepreneurship this year. What are your community givebacks that you're doing or that you want to do in the future?
Well, I mean, my big dream is to open up a nonprofit that will be for younger children to realize all of these great things that I'm learning about mindset and knowing that you can be an entrepreneur from young, that you don't have to go the regular route that everyone thinks that you have to go on in order to be successful, that you can design your own success. And I feel like that's something that's so important that needs to be instilled in our young people, because no one, they don't know. The majority of people they haven't been enlightened to to growth mindset and to knowing that you can be better, that it's not all about talent. And if you're not born with it, then it's not like you can't achieve it. And I think that's really an important message to give. As far as now, I'm constantly giving out, some free tidbits on Facebook and on my page and on my website. You can also get some different things if you sign up for the email list that will give you PDFs for how to retain your employees. I always try to create those so that, I try to give some value all the time when I'm posting, when I'm putting videos, so that people really feel like they're learning something and that they can apply that to their own business.
Okay. I'd love to see. I don't know if you have children. I have two, and Palm Beach County just did a great thing via online, and even gave the kids backpacks and different things on entrepreneurship. It's called Mind Your Business. Did you catch that?
No, I didn't hear anything about it.
Okay. And so, how old are your children?
My daughter is 14. She starts high school this year.
Okay, so this would be like perfect. I think I'll just put you in contact with the person and see maybe if there's a replay or something, or extra backpacks. Even my 10-year-old, I was having her read, and the part that she got stuck on, she was like, wait, I have to put 60 to 70 hours a week to be an entrepreneur? No, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. But what she should know is that it doesn't feel like work, because it's like your passion. Like I sometimes I just find myself writing content, just pulling something together and being like, oh, you just see something and you're like, you just start writing. Or I just find myself working on my business like at little moments during the day, even when I'm supposed to be relaxing. And not that it feels like stressful or hard. It just, in my mind, I'm like, oh, I have an idea. Oh, I have, and it flows. So, yeah.
But it has to be the right thing. So the things that I have her doing right now are like, wait, hold on. This isn't the influencer or the gaming that I want to do. This is what you say will make money. So, it's finding your passion, but it's part of daddy's homeschool that I can show you a business the same way. Like at 7, I had made her an author, and I had used software to do it because we write books in this house. And so anybody can become an author with software now. And, and it was a crossword puzzle book. So all a 7-year-old had to do was do 100 words. But it's, I have a lot of things that I like to have going on because I have a plan for life, and it's kind of complicated. And so I'll definitely connect you with the lady who did that in an email and see, if your daughter, if there's any backpacks or any knowledge. Because I think kids, like you're saying, they need to learn this really in elementary, be reminded in middle school, and let it a full practice of a business in high school, because we see that jobs are becoming, it's entrepreneur. I can hire you out. You can work from home. COVID is forcing that. And the next pandemic is going to force that. And it's coming, people. I hate to say it.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Yes.
So
yes. Yes. I mean, people are needing that everyone needs to shift their whole mindset. I believe the world would be so different if everybody like realized these little things that you don't realize when you're younger. You're receiving everyone else's beliefs and then you make them your own beliefs, but there's no basis in so many of them. Like you are able to do what you want to do and make the choices that you want to make, and you're not, a victim. And I think that that's important for a lot of children to learn, that, just because right now you're in school, that doesn't mean that you have to like forever be in school. Maybe you don't want to be a pencil pusher for the rest of your life. Like you don't have to do that. And you should be able to know that from younger, that you have other options.
In your book, I see the title, Not a Victim, because you've said that a couple times. And I know this is a business podcast, but I can tell that you had to get over, that. And that was, weighing you down. If there's any testimony that can help someone that you want to share, because some folks think, oh, only I've went through that. And it's like, you're not the only one. But you got to be around people who've gotten it over. So if there's any testimony on that, preach, we can move on. But what was it?
I mean, I've definitely just made some really bad choices before in my life, just thinking that, just selfish choices, and then also trying to find my way and going through different careers and just kind of like acquiring debt through school and not really knowing like what would be the best route for me. And then really just not believing that I could have any better than what I had. And I feel that I thought that it was like that because of everything that was happening around me. I would always blame other people for everything and find an excuse and always be upset. And, it was just like a cloud hanging over me. And I feel like a lot of people that since I've come out of the cloud and, I'm more enlightened to what's happening around me, I feel like I see it so much more of people playing the victim. It's like a theme, a universal theme of like, it's not you, everyone else around you is ruining your life. And like, I really used to think that. I really used to think that way. And when I see like my old memes and things come up on Facebook on the Memories app, and I see like my mentality of how sad I was and how upset I was with like everyone else, when really I should have been thinking about the decisions that I was making my life. And I feel like it's really it's hard to break through that barrier to someone and have them realize that things aren't happening to them.
I love that. Going through school, I worked at group homes, rehab facilities, psych wards, and to see like what happens to some, children at a young age, they never get over it, because those same people you'll go to school with, you'll go to work with, you'll be in relationships with, and you see how, folks have to get through their stuff and their baggage. And we all have stuff, but some stuff is so unfair to a child. And I find that when trying to reach, I love the hood. The hood is where it's all good. This Hope Dealer shirt, I don't know if you recognize, this is something in West Palm by a former guest, Ricky Atkins. And and he goes out and, he's from, Tamarind and all that and mentors the kids weekly. But it's the mentality of what happens as a kid to get over it. But, I'm hiring, right? When I first come here, and you're like, okay, I want to try to hire our folks. We know we need help, but our folks here, and it's not just here, because we've lived in 6 different states, in 18 years. It's not just here. It's our folks, especially if it sounds too good to be true, they can't even, show up for the interview. And it's like, you need this opportunity. Not to say you need me, because opportunities all the way around, but it's like you need this coaching. You need someone to grab your hand. And the fact that others would rush for the activity. I don't drive a $300,000 car. I might rent one if I ever want to stunt, but I don't want to be the $300,000 car. You know, they're nice, but it's just something I don't want to maintain. It's like having a boat or an RV. I don't want to clean it.
Right.
So, but people say, well, you should be able to have someone else, you know, if you can really afford it. You're right. That's why I don't have it. But our people's minds, a lot of times, especially, you know, it's not just the uneducated, because even you're saying you went educated and you still had, you know, baggage of, I did this, or I'm not smart enough. Maybe that was some of it, or I can't. And that has to get off, because you get one life to, you know, either do great things or keep trying to do great things. And what are you going to do? So I love it. I love that you took that baggage off. That's the name of the book. Should we call Ingram now?
For sure. I like that. Take the baggage off.
Yeah. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And if you haven't gone, I don't like to just get the game, but I like to give it. And I like to give it because it's a time where others may be like, oh, I never heard of that before. But if you haven't gone to have you gone to your local SBA?
No, I haven't actually. No.
And you can rewind this, or you can write it down, whatever you need to do. Go to your local SBA, go to your local SCORE, introduce yourself via email, and we all can shake hands again and hug. They're going to help you. There's another organization most people won't tell you about because they don't know. They should teach this in college. It's called PTAC. And you can put in PTAC Florida. PTAC will show you where all the people in the government who are looking to buy your services. Oh. So this is $1 million game right here.
Right.
And you can go call all those people up in one day and find out and set up your meeting, whether Zoom, and say, this is me. You want to have a capability statement. You want to have a scope of work. I put my scope of work in my contract just so it's just a very simple page that people can see. But also the Toastmasters and then the NSA, because people still are doing paid gigs via Zoom. I know magicians who are still getting paid to do magic on Zoom. And you're like, whoa, I've had one on my show.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah. And also your local chamber of commerce. I don't know. Are you in West Palm?
No, I'm in Miami.
Okay. You're in Miami. So call, the chamber in Miami. All of South Florida is mine. I'm just claiming it. Business wise, there's no limitation. I'm less than an hour away from Miami. Boom. All of South Florida. We want it all, man. Like Tony Montana came to Miami. Hey, that's how I'm coming, man.
I like it. The world is yours.
The world is yours.
One of my favorite movies. I watch it every time it's on TV.
Man, I got it, the VHS, and it's a little worn out. One day I might subscribe to just downloading it, right? But
oh my gosh. VHS. Wow. I've still got my Disney movies on VHS from when I was younger.
Yeah, that's a collection. That's gonna be worth some money. So keep those. Yeah, keep those. But those organizations are gonna open up your client base to where you're gonna be like, whoa, people are calling me now. That's what they're gonna do for you, because the government buys everything from pencils to things that you'd be like, I never knew that the government would spend $40,000 for somebody to create a Twitter and then tell them they can't make one tweet. That wasn't my contract, but that's what my PTAC officer she showed me, and I'm like,
oh my gosh,
$40,000 to create the profile,
create a Twitter profile.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they know how to waste our money wisely or unwisely.
Yeah.
And I see, a lot of personal assistants like online, like Craigslist, and in Miami, what I've seen are especially the Afro-Latino women. I mean, sometimes I don't know what assistance they're selling, but I said it looks good. I said, that looks real Miami. I'm in.
Yeah, it's real Miami.
Yeah.
It's the way to look at it.
Yeah. And you know what? There is a lane for everybody because I like to give hope. If you only have maybe looks to you, right? And Cardi B and others are, and the Kardashians show that you don't have to have all the talent, but if, let's say all you have is looks, I would hire somebody with just looks to go to a meeting for me, to record the meeting via audio or video, and then to pick up all the business cards, because I know all the thirsty, out of shape, old, no game men are going to run to this person and try to do their best, whatever they worked 30 years ago. And I also have proven that the women are going to be like, even if the woman is not properly dressed, and I say that in quotes because I'm not a judge or juror, that the women are going to go and say, wow, you look like, you stepped out of a magazine. And it works. And I can't go to every meeting. And during COVID, I ain't going to no meetings.
I know.
Plus, as you can see, I'm a different type of entrepreneur with the love locks in my hair.
Yeah.
With the frames, you always will see some type of shades. My eyes are sensitive to sun, and I'm a star, so I was born in it. But it's I'm different, but I'm good at what I'm doing, and I'm actually great at what I'm doing, but I'm not like constantly looking for work. But it comes to me because your gift will make room for you, and that's so true. So I believe your gift will make room for you in Jesus Christ's name.
Yeah.
And those places will help you out, and you'll be like, whoa. I'm glad you told me.
I'm going to check those out today. Sign up for everything. I'm open to all suggestions.
Yes. And not just Miami, because from Fort Lauderdale to Palm Beach County, your services are needed. I'm seeing so much, but sometimes, there's a crowd worldwide about, I would say 60 and over, who they are still stuck in the way, you had to have a tie when you do business, or a woman's skirt has to look like this. And, and those people who can't pivot, they aren't really my customer, because as you see, this is a technology play, and you don't know technology like we know it. You don't know systems, and you can't go anywhere in the world and touch somebody literally. And we can.
Yes.
So with that, if there's anything you want to leave the people that I might have missed, please give them any info you want to give, website, anything, any words of encouragement.
Okay, so my last words for anyone who's listening is, if you've been wanting to start a business, then you just need to go ahead and do it. Like, you can do it. Don't let people tell you that you can't do it. You just have to believe that you can. I mean, whether you can or you can't is whether you believe you can or can't. So you need to make sure that you believe in yourself, because you're the first line. It's all about you believing. If you believe, everyone around you will believe in their own time. You can only be worried about yourself and what's happening with you, because it's your life. You only get this one to make an impact, and you want to be living your most purposeful life, because that's where you're going to see the most blessings, because you're aligned. And that's really the most important thing. So also, if you need any help with your systems, I am actually offering free business audits for this month that I will basically delve into everything that's happening with your business, and I will help you find clarity and see the gaps, and we can create a custom plan in order for you to implement. And that will be a way for you to get on the road to dealing your business, which is basically what we're talking about in the 4-hour work week earlier, to be able to define exactly what you want, eliminate all the waste, automate your processes, and liberate yourself. So if you want any more information on that, you can go to my website. It's www.allyvaldes.com. If you'd like to email me, my email is ally@allyvaldes.com. And I am on Facebook if you'd like to find me. And I also have a great Facebook group where you can learn several different things about business systems and HR solutions. That's free. And it's called CEOs Who Scale. So I hope to see you, and I hope to be able to help you guys. Thank you so much for having me. I am really appreciative of this whole experience.